Hello and welcome to Womb of Wisdom. Today we are very pleased to come your way again with another topic. It's going to be not our maiden on YouTube, but it's certainly going to be new as far as the discussion is concerned. And we're happy that we're going to be treating a very interesting topic today. So if you're here, we thank you very much for being here with us. We are most grateful for sharing your time with us here in America. Currently in Georgia, Atlanta, it is 4:22 a.m. Today is the 30th of April, 2023, and we're coming your way with a very interesting topic and so relevant in our daily lives. And we hope by the time we finish with the program, we will be informed and will be able to be better at what we do. Today, let me start with just a few announcements. We're looking at a topic today. We've titled it Handling Difficult Conversations. Handling Difficult Conversations. And we're hoping that by the time we're done with the topic for today, we will be able to get ourselves very, very informed. So to give a little background on why the topic for the day is handling difficult conversations, is basically from personal life experiences and also some statistics I have come across. Personal experiences I learned from my mom of blessed memory. She actually helped me know how to say things the way they should be said and how not to offend people with your words and all that. So I grew up sitting by her, and she literally teaching me how to say things the way they should be said. I remember her say to me that no, you don't talk like that. If I say something and I don't say them right, she would go directly and say, no, you don't say them like that. You say it this way. If you say it that way, the way you said it, she puts it this way, your wife will leave you. So is interesting how that has influenced how I say things. And being a salesman, it's gone a long way to help me. It's been very great hearing feedback from customers and even work colleagues. It's quite satisfying to know that the way we say things, how we say it, really tells who we are. And I have had a lot of requests from people I interact with who have demanded of me to do podcast or YouTube channels or any form of social media communication that they could share, some of the experiences and tips and knowledge I have acquired through life. And so I actually got one of my sisters who told me that, see, you need to share some of the things you know and let the world get help from it. And of all the people who have spoken to me asking that I do this, none of them hit me like when my sister told me that you need to do this. They say a prophet is not respected in his own home. So if you have a family member ask you to do such an honorable thing, it's a very positive sign, and I took that very seriously. So the day she spoke to me, I went out and I bought light and all that. So well, we'll delve into this. That is from my personal experience. Hopefully, we're able to look at other things and then see what we can do. When I came to America too, I did a study on parenting skills, and some of the things that my mom told me actually featured over there prominently as well. So I'm adding all the experiences I have to come your way with this. Maybe just a little background. I mean, professionally, I trained as a mechanical engineer, and I did a degree in marketing and a master's in business administration. And I studied artificial intelligence strategic implication at MIT. It was a management training program. And I did energy finance. I sometimes lose track of some of the courses I have done and the training I've been through. And I would like to thank all the people who have contributed in what I am and what I can share today. Maybe at a later date, I would come and talk a little bit about myself for everyone to have a good idea about me. And I want to send shout out to all the people that influenced my development as well. My mom, my dad, Okay, so that's just a little about me. So let's delve into the other part of it. Would I say, yeah, maybe I would say research-wise, there are some statistics that are pretty relevant to why I chose to discuss handling difficult conversations. I found these statistics, and I would like us to delve straight into it. Again, anybody who tunes in, you're welcome to the program Womb of Wisdom. Today, we're looking at handling difficult conversations. According to Census Bureau, the number of parents with children under age 18 and living at home declined by about 3 million over the past decade, dropping from about 66.1 million parents in 2010 to 63.1 million in 2020. According to Census Bureau, in 2020, 40% of all families lived with their own children under 18, compared to 44% in 2010 and 48% in 2000. According to Legal Jobs, these statistics in broken homes show that around 21% of American kids are growing up without a father. According to Legal Jobs, children from broken homes account for 70% of those in juvenile detention, more than half of all youth incarcerated for criminal acts, 60% of rapists, 72% of adolescent murderers, and 70% of long-term prison inmates. According to Richmond Times-Dispatch, children from broken homes are also more likely to experience poverty, abuse, behavioral problems, poor academic performance, drugs and alcohol abuse, depression, and suicide, and divorce. So I thought through these statistics. I got very worried, and I thought, it would be good to start a conversation. It would be good to participate in addressing some of the societal concerns that needed to be looked at. I thought through all of this, particularly the Richmond Times Dispatch statistics. That really got to me, and I thought we can focus or center the discussion around that. It may include all the rest, but that seemed to sum it up because it gives us an idea from children. It starts from children. Excuse me. And I would like to state it again. It says, quote, according to Richmond Times Dispatch, children from broken homes are also more likely to experience poverty, abuse, behavioral problems, poor academic performance, drug and alcohol abuse, depression, suicide, and divorce. The reason that particular statistics kind of hit me was it gave the span of life from childhood to adulthood to old age and probably end of life. And thinking that there are children, even as we speak, who are in broken homes. As we speak, there are children who are in broken homes. And again, I want to acknowledge that not all children who have been raised from broken homes are bad, but I would also not discount the fact that some children, or there is a degree of problem that comes with raising children from broken homes. I mean, the point is, it is a broken home. So right from the word go, there is something fundamentally absent that is essential for the development of a child. So if the home is broken, there is definitely something that would affect the child's thriving and growing and becoming better. And so that becomes a problem. Now, a broken home that is poor is a big problem. A broken home that has spousal abuse, child abuse is a big problem. A broken home obviously may have a behavioral problem. Either it was an inherited behavioral problem or a developed behavioral problem. Poverty is a great influence of abuse. If you go on, if the home is broken, it's kind of suggests that the home doesn't have sufficient condition for a child to thrive, for parent to thrive, for parenting to thrive, for assessing financial opportunities, for assessing the necessary equipment that gives you the advantage or access to pursue the right things and dreams that makes the home glow. So a child coming from a poverty background already has too much to worry. And so instead of having a relaxed and free mind to work at school, they sometimes would have to think about what they would eat. And if a child would have to think, participate in the thinking of providing food, if a child has to participate in the thinking in providing clothing, if a child has to participate in the thinking of providing shelter, or worry of where the next meal is going to come from, worry of what we do for fun as a family, that there is no moment of joy, peace, laughter, nothing like that. If that becomes the burden of a child, if parents are frustrated because they are not capable of providing as is needed for the child, if mothers are worried because they know their husbands are not in the position of providing sufficiently for the home, and that providing for the immediate need is not available, and the hope to get it for tomorrow is not guaranteed, it can put undue stress on parents and children. If a child is coming from a home like that, the child is predisposed to challenges academically. And you can see some children are really brilliant. They are smart children, but when their full attention is needed to understand stuff at school, you can tell that they are not present. When you are overburdened with these, you begin to search for where you can get solutions. And that takes you out of your situation and you begin to explore externally. That exploration can let you land in situations. And even before your exploration, the frustration and the stress that comes with not being able to provide begins to send thought into your mind. It gets you to want to sit at somewhere that would get you some kind of conversation, comfort, peace of mind, a relief. And in that exploratory moment, drugs comes in. You're looking for quick fixes. All the other things we can think about regarding drug and alcohol abuse, they set in. And a lot of the time, not because you want it, but because it is offered to you. And when it is offered to you, you more often than not are not able to decline because, hey, you couldn't afford it. You couldn't afford it. So if it is being offered to you, you likely are going to want to take it. After this situation has persisted, you are going to get into the next stage of depression if it doesn't get resolved. When you sink into depression and you have a child to take care of, already the child is trying to find who they are, where they are, why they are what they are. Because this child, remember, may be going to school. So she kind of can tell other children from themselves. And then what is different in mine? My life, my home, my school. And so the mindset of this child get affected, get influenced from having a parent or coming from a home stricken with poverty, abuse, behavioral problems. And when reports are sent home of poor academic performance, the support from home, from parents, from guardians, that gets the child to have a better perception about themselves and know that I can do it. It is possible with me, just like it is possible with the other people. Get to be deflated. It kind of dissipate, and it keeps dissipating as long as the parent or the guardian is struggling to put themselves together. And then it gets graduated to the stage of suicidal thoughts. So if people get suicidal, then it becomes a problem. And then when the center cannot hold, it comes to divorce. I don't know how long this can take from it for a child to go through a home stricken with all of these things we have spoken about. But what is particularly very important is, yes, I know there are help, but when people are going through some of these things, do we get to know? And if we get to know, are we able to come in timely with help or make referrals or report to appropriate agencies to come in? I'm thinking again that why would anybody go through this as a normal life? What happened? What is the precursor to all of these development? Could something have been done to avert this? And when I thought through, I realized that a lot of these could be curbed if we had the right communication skills growing up. If we were told how to communicate our thoughts and feelings, if we were told how to say things the way they have to be said, if we're told how you can navigate through life and not create too much problems for yourself. I was thinking about the statistics with legal jobs that states that children from broken homes account for 70% of those in juvenile detention. That broke my heart as well. And what I was looking at is that if I had 100 children in front of me, 70 of them is the number we are talking about. If I had 1,000 children in front of me, 700 of these children is what we are talking about. What happened? What happened? We have something we say in Africa that if you have never given birth to a bad child, you say somebody is not a good parent. I am not saying that to exonerate parents who have children who have gone that way. And I'm saying that to acknowledge that raising children is a task very difficult that needs help, that needs support, that needs encouragement, that needs a hand big enough to direct the path, that needs a mind that is at peace to direct the path of the child. That needs a pocket deep enough to provide sufficiently and decently as the child's needs may be required. To bring the child to an adult who would be responsible in raising another family to be responsible. Then the cycle can continue. So if you have a child that finds their way there to juvenile detention, it can be very burdensome for the parent, for the siblings. And if you have a child whose father is in detention, then the child suffers as well. So that is a cycle that preceded this child who is in detention. So the child goes to detention to meet the father in detention. So then the need to look at the subject more. Because believe you me, some of these children in detention could be very important people in societies. They could be teachers. They could be leaders. They could help strategizing for a better society, better government, better leadership. They could influence all aspects of life. There are doctors, engineers, craftsmen, and what have you. And so handling difficult conversation comes in handy, thinking if we are able to talk about our needs, if we're able to talk about what bothers us, we should be, we should be able to minimize the effect of juvenile detention. Children going into juvenile detention. We should be able to minimize that. We should be able to have better parenting from the way we communicate. We should be able to have confidence in our parents and parenting skills. So today, we'll look at a few tips that all of us can learn at home, at work, in our associations, in teams, and how we relate with each other when it comes to handling difficult conversations. If you deploy some of these skills, probably could help than what we probably have been used to. So we're going to be looking at a few, is actually 5 strategies, and we'll look at them briefly. So point number 1, if there is any subject at home and you would want to discuss, instead of being upset, instead of being emotional, instead of being aggressive, you would want to consider this point: being proactive and preventive. Do not wait until a problem escalates or a crisis occurs to have a conversation or a discussion. Instead, try to create a culture of open communication and trust in the family, where everyone feels comfortable expressing their feelings, thoughts, and concerns without fear of judgment or criticisms. Establish regular family meetings or check-ins to share updates, celebrate achievement, address issues, and plan. This can help prevent misunderstandings, resentments, and conflicts from building up over time. So the strategy one is being proactive and preventive. That is the strategy. Now, once you have this strategy, how do you ensure proactiveness and preventiveness? This may be different for everyone because every family is different. But if you create a culture of open communication, that you know that in the home, everyone can express their thoughts, everyone can express their mind, everyone can express what they think and what they feel without having to think about punishment. If you are in a team and you encourage the team that if there is anything that worries anybody, if there is anything anybody wants to share, do not hold back. Come on, share it, say it, speak your mind. There is something I saw in New York. I was very happy. They said, if you see something, say something. Everybody is being encouraged to express what they feel, what they think about the society. Excuse me. If something is going wrong and you know, say it. Whether it's at home, whether it's at work, any association, meetings. If you know something is going wrong, that if you bring it to the table, it would help for the common good. Say it. That is the culture of open communication. And if people know when they say what they have observed, if they say what is on their mind, if they say what is bothering them, they are not going to be punished, marginalized, discriminated. They will. That's how you develop open communication. And over time, when people are able to speak and they are not punished, they are not tortured, they are not made to feel against the team, but they are made to feel that speaking about what was wrong with you or the team helps the team's ultimate performance, help the family's ultimate growth and development, help interaction, helps build bond, relationship, and trust. Let people feel comfortable. And if you're a leader, if you're a father, if you're a mother, tell them as part of your daily interactions. Let every child, let everybody, let the team members know that, hey, remind everyone when this practice go on, this skill of telling people, is anything wrong? If you meet anybody, hey, let me know if there is anything I can do for you. Let me know if there is anything wrong. Hey, how was school? Were you happy? Anything you want me to know so I can help? When people know this, they come up with issues that bothers them and they say them easily. There are spouses going through stuff and they are not able to share it with their spouse. That's the worst thing that could happen. I mean, this is your spouse right here, and there is something bothering him or her, and cannot share it with you. That's a big problem. That's a big problem right there. So you would want to um, encourage each other. Tell me whatever is on your mind. Let's share it. It might be something that is eating you up, but if you share it, you realize that, oof, you probably are missing some links in there that It could be filled just by expressing it. And then you save yourself the hassle. It goes on to say that where everyone feels comfortable expressing their feelings, thoughts, and concerns without fear of judgment and criticisms. When you tell people that, look, if there is something on your mind, let's share it. Let's share it. Tell me. It's, it's not going to, in fact, judgment is not part of our life here. It's a worry, it's a concern we need to look at. We'll look at it. You will not be criticized for it. We'll look at it as a family issue. We'll look at it as a business issue. We'll look at it as an association issue. We'll look at it as governance issue. We'll look at it as administrative issue. We'll look at it as customer service issue. There is a way you can develop the open communication and trust amongst your team. Establish regular meetings between you, family, couples, children, family, children, parents, children, friends. You bring them together. You get to know the kind of friends that are coming around your children. You get to know the kind of friends that are coming around your spouse. You build that common ground so you are able to flow seamless. Your good side influences the good side of the other person. And so when you come together and you put any program as a task to accomplish, everyone is on the same page. Establish regular family meetings and check-ins and share updates. Celebrate achievements. So celebrating achievement is anything small to all the big that comes with certificates and medals and all of that. But the little things at home, like your spouse cooking a meal. The little things at home, like your spouse picking your boxers, picking your socks, laying the bed, cleaning, keeping the home nice and beautiful and warm. Just within budget, within what you have, your means. The small things, doing laundry, all those little things count. All those little things count. If you have wall hangings, pictures, cleaning them and dusting them off, they count. Do it. They are some of the things we would want to consider. You address all issues when they come up. In fact, all about relationships is addressing issues. Issues can be either addressing entertainment, choice or preference, meals, menu, clothing, colors in the home, paintings. It's so many things. Doormat, door handles, bath, soap, detergents. I mean, all of these are part of the interactions, the communications that we have. And we would always have to know how to say each one of them. And then you can plan. When you're planning is interesting. Planning is having a mental picture of what you want to do and putting them in perspective and following them step after step. When you have to do it all alone, you don't have any physical opposition, but sometimes even your mind can be suggesting stuff to you to review how you personally planned. So when you have another human being you need to plan with, you should be very open-minded, because how you're looking at it, the other person is looking at it from the other angle. So after you have expressed your thought on how it's supposed to be done, or it could be done, Be open to see the other side, because sometimes people develop ideas, and whilst they're doing the listening, they review their thought with what they're hearing. And so a lot of the time you see that the second opinion kind of come up in a better version of what you thought. Why is all of these important? Because if it is not well handled, there will be misunderstanding, divided opinions, divided under, understanding of what we want to do, how we want to do it, where we want to do it, who we need to involve, and all of that. When you have all these to deal with, you would want to look at the skills well. You'd want to look at your communication well. It should be open. People should have trust. People should speak their mind, speak their thought without being judged or criticized. Um, People should know they can come to you. That is the family meetings and check-ins. People should know they can easily knock on your door. They can call you on the phone. They can, I'm thinking about this, I want to run it with you. Always do that. I'm thinking about this, I want to run it with you. I'm thinking about this, I want to run it with you. And people feel comfortable doing this, especially when they have tested the first, second, third time, and they found it very comfortable. They found it very encouraging. They didn't feel judged, criticized, or you can't think about anything yourself. No, they can. But your involvement is an acknowledgement of your value to them. So when your spouse approaches you on something you think she should know, yes, she knew. If your spouse approaches you on something you think he should know, yes, he knew. But can you imagine times when you have said, you don't tell me when you're doing things? Maybe you'd want to check how the first one went when he approached you. You don't tell me when you're doing things. Maybe you'd want to reflect on how the first one went when she approached you. Because who doesn't want to share what they want to do with somebody, something that is great and good and wonderful that is going to influence their life and make them thrive and become better people? Everybody wants to share that and discuss that, especially with the people they love and care about. Resentment. Anytime there is misunderstanding, if you don't address it, you kind of give back to resentment. And when there is resentment, our listening ability gets abnormal. Our reasoning ability gets abnormal. And then conflict starts. Now, conflict doesn't start when it breaks out and people can see. Conflict start in the mind and the way we perceive each other. So this time around, we don't think of the nice things any longer. This time around, we don't think about the beautiful things any longer. All our energies are focused on the negatives, and all our wishes and desires for the other party is not for them to succeed and thrive. And that becomes a big problem. So try, encourage, speak it, say it anytime, and let the family know that they can speak and participate in the family discourse without being judged or criticized. And then out of that, you can plan. And when you're able to plan, you're able to reduce or minimize your misunderstandings, resentments, and conflict from building up over time. The second point we'll be looking at is being respectful and empathetic. When having a difficult conversation or discussion, remember that everyone has their own perspective, feelings, and needs. Try to listen actively and attentively to what the other person is saying without interrupting or dismissing them. And me being a salesman, one of the beautiful skills you develop as a salesman is the listening skill. Listening is a very beautiful thing if you get to learn how to do it. You need to listen, I tell you. If you can develop a listening skill, you'll be very happy. You make beautiful conversations. Especially, can you imagine you have something on your mind to share with whoever, discuss with whoever, and all the person does is just to sit and watch you speak. I mean, just sitting and watching you speak. If you sit listening to your spouse, to your team, to your colleagues, to your associates, and they know you are listening and you are interested and you are involved in the listening. Now, this is how I say it when I'm doing training and development. Listen for yourself. Listen for the one speaking. So you listen to, and then you listen for yourself, and then you listen with the speaker. You listen to so you can hear and understand. You listen with the speaker so you can be empathetic. So you are listening and feeling from the voice, the texture, the tone, and everything from the speaker. So you can relate to the mental weight of what the speaker has got to say. Now, you listen, 3 is 4. Listen to, listen for, listen with. 3. So you are listening to them, you are listening with them, and you're listening for them. So the reason you are listening is not because they've got something to say, but the reason you're listening is because you are an integral part of them getting better, of them feeling worth of the moment that they made the decision to talk to you. That of all the people, you are the best amongst them to participate in addressing their issue. Listen. When your team have something to say, listen. If you're a team lead, if you're a manager, if you're a management person, listen. Listen, because your role is more of advice, is more advisory. So if you would be effective, you would want to develop your listening skills. And when you listen, hear. And when you hear, understand. The reason you listen is so you can hear, is so you can understand, is so you can do the reasoning, the needed reasoning from what you are hearing to give the best advice needed. So you were reasoning, your ultimate is that after listening, your advice is the best prescription. So doctors would do diagnosis to be able to determine what is wrong with the patients. Salespeople, leaders who do administrative work, governance, marketing, commerce, strategy. What we do is listening. You listen to have understanding and appreciate the situation, especially in consultancy. We don't know everything. What we do as consultants is to listen to get the fiber of the situation such that we'll be able to tell all the yarns and what they are and where they are coming from and what is causing it and what the source is and what alternatives can they present themselves that can make whatever prescriptions we would give or recommendations we will give not blossom and give it maximum effect. So if you are in any position where you are responsible to take decisions and advice, listening is one of the skills you'd want to learn, develop, and master. Listening, listening, listening. Listen, listen, and listen. So try to listen actively and attentively to what the other person is saying without interrupting or dismissing. Listen. Listen. And if you don't understand, listen again. If you need to make points to guide you, build your thought line, do it and check with the speaker if you were actually understanding what they were saying. Watch the words that are being used. Because in those words, in those choices of words, you'll be able to have a deeper sense of what they're talking about or what they mean to say. Because a lot of the times, what we want to put across, we kind of get limited with the words we can use to explicitly state them. Acknowledge their point of view and validate their emotions, even if you don't agree with them. Acknowledge their emotions, acknowledge their point of view, acknowledge, acknowledge. These are the skills under being respectful and empathetic. That's the strategy. And the skills. First is listening. 2, acknowledge. Even if you don't agree with them. 3, try to put yourself in their shoes and understand where they are coming from. If you have to put yourself in someone's shoes, a lot of the time, it is not an easy thing to do, but you would want to handle it well. You would want to handle it well. Put yourself in their shoes. Put yourself in their shoes. And understand where they are coming from. Avoid name calling. Avoid name calling. Don't be tempted to call someone names for the person trusting to share what bothers them with you. Resist that temptation of calling people names because they chose to speak to you about what bothers them. Don't shame them. Don't make them feel ashamed or insulting. Don't. Don't insult them. Don't blame them. Don't shame them. And don't call them names. It would make them defensive and they might hide their truth. They might be angry and regret even considering you as the right person to have a conversation. Use respectful language. if you're doing this, use respectful language. Use respectful language. Use the right tone. Because people can tell if you're really interested in their issues, depending on how you speak to them. Use the right tone. Use the right tone. I mean, I'm doing this around this time because I know families who are bothered, individuals who are concerned, a lot of the time are up early, and you can tell people run different shifts. So if people have a little time, they can tune in and listen to something that will help them. I mean, try as much as possible to focus on the issue at hand. Listen to the issue at hand. Let the issue at hand be the primary concern. Be interested in the issue. And one thing you would observe if you're doing the listening, we have something we call SRC. I'll discuss it maybe sometime in subsequent episode. SRC is self-reliance concept. When people trust you and choose you to discuss their issues with you, you listen and you relate the issues to experiences and what you know in your life regarding the subject. That is your first reference of understanding before you come up with whatever additional knowledge or information you'll be able to add. If you deploy the self-reliance concept, SRC, in listening, do not depend on just that in building your advisory or recommendations. Be open and look at the subject and understand where this individual is coming from. Cultural, upbringing, especially when people have gone through what we read in the statistics: poverty, behavioral issues, poor academic performance, drug and alcohol abuse, depression, suicidal, divorce. It's a whole baggage that they're carrying. So if somebody is speaking to you from that point, you would want to be respectful and empathetic. You would want to listen with a sense of humility. You'd want to listen with a sense of honor that you're deemed qualified into somebody's privacy and sharing very deep things. And from that respect and honor, you'd want to thoughtfully respond. I'll go to the third point. Number 3, be honest and clear. Be honest with your truth. Be honest with your truth. Be honest with your truth. We'll try to finish this in an hour and a half. Hopefully, we're able to do it. Be honest and clear. When having a difficult conversation or a discussion, be honest and clear about what you want to say, what you feel, and what you need. Do not beat around the bush or sugarcoat the truth. Do not make assumptions or accusations without evidence. Sometimes out of respect, you find it difficult to find words to actually express what you want to say and how you feel and what you need. So basically, what you want to say or how to say what you feel and what you need. You have a need, but how do you say it to express how you feel? That at the end of the day, what you need can be understood and provided without creating problems. How do you present your truth without sugarcoating? Would they take you for what you said implied or just what you said? When you are listening, don't assume you heard. When you are listening, be honest that you're listening. And when you don't get anything, seek clarification. And you who is also doing the talking, be honest, speak your truth, and be clear. And also check with the one listening if they are understanding you. I had that from my father a lot. What did I say? Repeat it after me. What did I say? Repeat it after me. He's been gone for maybe over 30 years. Or, yeah, just about. But I still hear his voice. Repeat it after me. Get it right the first time. Get it right the first time. Why did you not get it right? Why did you make a mistake? And sometimes I didn't have answers for him. Do not make assumptions or accusations without evidence. This is common when you get into politics and even some media practitioners. Instead of seeking for the right information, they would throw out there and put a word allegedly. So now you have to come up and defend. Could it also mean that systems are such that you don't have access to information or the truth is not out, so then they have to devise a way in getting the truth out? If there is home politics, work politics, and all of that, then we would have issues. If a customer has a problem and the customer is telling their truth of the experiences they're having for which the problem is arising, the least you can do is to trust the customer, because remember, the customer has a relationship with you. Trust the customer. The customer is talking about your product. The customer is talking about your service. The customer is talking about the fact that you have taken money for a specific service to be provided and they're experiencing a different thing. What makes you think it's not important to listen? What makes anybody think it's not important to listen and then you dismiss it? You have a spouse. They are living in the same home with you. They are sharing their life with you. And you have a problem, you can be honest about it, you can be clear about it. What other contract would anybody have to sign up to that would be obligatory on the part of a person to be transparent and be clear and be honest and willing to share the truth? Do not accuse your spouse, your colleague, your workmate, your customer of anything without evidence. Don't assume the customer said. Don't assume your spouse said. Don't assume your friend said. Without evidence. Use text, use email. If your phone has camera, take pictures. When you have evidence, it makes communication easy. Oh no, that's not what I said. This is how what I said, and this. Oh no, this is what you said. Here, there is a text to it. There is an email to it. There is a voice note to it. Oh my goodness, what was I thinking about? That's what comes up. Oh my goodness, what was I thinking? And then it makes it easy for the other person to accept their mistake. Do not hide or avoid the topic because you're afraid of hurting someone's feelings or causing conflict. A lot of the time, the reason why people are very economical with the truth, and so they are not able to be honest and clear, is because they are afraid of hurting somebody or creating conflict. But people will exercise these thoughts because of experience. People would be thinking this would because of experience. If people have examples they can see that people have come up speaking their honest truth, they were clear and direct about it, they become victims. So if the leadership does not open up and be tolerant with people sharing their thoughts and opinions and what bothers them individuals and as a team, and they've seen other people being punished and victimized and um, ganged against and frustrated, it sends so many signals to the other parties not to come forth and share thoughts and opinions. And ultimately, it goes to affect the family, the team, the group, the office, wherever. In government, that's what happens. Be direct and be assertive if you're handling this. Go straight, go direct, say it plain, but be polite and tactful. Be polite and tactful. Don't accuse your spouse when you have attended a party. You mess up big time. When your in-laws are around, you mess up big time. Don't embarrass the children when their friends are around. You mess up big time. Don't embarrass your colleagues when other colleagues are around. If what you're saying is not complimentary, you mess up big time. Be tactful. Know the time, know the location, know the ambience. Check it. Check it. Check it. Check it. I tell you, check it. Check it. You would want to learn how to say certain things much more friendlier, especially using the I statement. Instead of saying, "You never help me with the house chores." Consider this. I feel overwhelmed by the amount of work I have to do at home, and I need your help. I feel overwhelmed by the amount of work I have to do at home, and I need your help. Be specific about what you want or expect from the other person and why it is important to you. Point number 4, be flexible and cooperative. Be flexible and cooperative. If you're a leader, if you're a manager, if you're an administrator, if you're a team lead, if you're a husband, if you're a wife, if you're a teacher, if you are into politics, whatever, be flexible and cooperative. When having a difficult conversation or a discussion, be flexible and cooperative in finding a solution that works for everyone involved. Do not be stubborn or rigid in your position or demand that the other person agrees with you or does what you want. Do not be stubborn or rigid in your position or demand that the other person agrees with you or does what you want. Do not try to win the argument or prove that you are right. Men, do not try to win the argument or prove that you're right. Because we all have to be right. We all have to win. If we are all not winning, if we are all not right, we haven't resolved it. If we are all not right, if we are all not winning, we haven't gotten it. Try to understand the other person's needs and interest. And especially if you're a parent, you're a manager, you're a leader, or whatever it is, your role literally is actually understanding everybody's interest and needs, because that is why you are there. If their interests, if their needs are addressed, you get them to give their maximum output. If their needs, if their interests are addressed, every team member operate at ultimate. Every team member, they are at their highest abilities. They give off everything. They don't hold back. Every family, including children, they'll start putting things right, not making a mess, cleaning, doing their homework, bringing it for you to check, review, correct them. They have stuff on their mind they want to do, think, act, whatever it is. They would always run it with you because you have built that ambience, you have built that system, you have built that home, that environment further. Let's go to point number 5, and then we can bring the program to an end. Be supportive and positive. Be supportive and positive. Be supportive and positive. When having a difficult conversation and discussion, be supportive and positive towards the other person. Do not ignore or minimize their feelings or concern. Do not criticize or judge them for their choices or actions. Do not make them feel guilty or ashamed for making a mistake or having a problem. Instead, show them that you care about them and that you are there for them. Offer them encouragement and praise for their strengths and achievements. Help them find solutions and resources to overcome their challenges. Express your appreciation and gratitude for their presence and participation in the family, in the team, in the group, in the association, in the administration, on the streets, and anywhere people interact. That is straightforward. I don't need to add a word. I'd want to recap all the things we have done. We looked at 5 areas: being proactive and preventive, being respectful and empathetic, being honest and clear, being flexible and cooperative, being supportive and positive. These 5 strategies are what we are learning to help us handle difficult conversation. By following these tips, parents, children, teams, professionals can handle difficult conversations and discussions, questions and answers around their home and work more effectively and respectfully, from childhood to adolescence, from recruitment to full-time job and professional practices. Again, I should state that I acknowledge that this does not solve all the problems, but can agree that it will contribute to addressing the fundamental cause of some of the problems. This can improve the quality of communication and relationship in the family, as well as foster a sense of mutual understanding, respect, and trust among its members. I want to say that for feedback and suggestions, you can call or message 347-658-7385 or email kwesivroom@gmail.com. Kwesi Vroom is spelled KWESIVROOM@gmail.com. Follow, like our channel, and then share. We trust that this has been helpful. We thought we were going to be finishing around 1:30, but 1 hour 30 minutes, but we did 1 hour 17 minutes. Hopefully by 1 hour 20 minutes we'll be done. Again, we thank you for your time. We thank you for participating. We thank you for spending the time with us. 1 hour 20 minutes of your time is deeply appreciated. If you want to send comments, suggestions, we'll be very glad to hear from you. We thank you for staying tuned. We'll come your way once again. When this is over, we'll bring in another topic. I think we'll be looking at generating family wealth in our next topic. Thank you very much for staying tuned. My name is Kwesi Dacosta Vroom. This show is Womb of Wisdom. We call it WOW, W-O-W, WOW. I hope we are able to continue with this. We thank you for your support and everything that you came in with. Thank you for your time. See you again, and goodbye.